Yes, boys, how's it going today? I'm back. I've been sort of away for like 6 days. I'll explain that in a second. Yeah, like the last video I uploaded was like, I'm an addict and then I disappear off the internet. I have been working a lot basically, so it's not like I've just quit everything and I'm just asleep in a hole. It's just I've loads of sort of the people I'm tutoring one on one, they've had their assessment centers last week and this week, so I've just been doing loads of calls from them, sort of calls starting from 5 p.m. going on until midnight basically with a whole bunch of them just to get them ready. So it's basically sort of especially today as well. Today was a super busy day, so now that we've got through today, now I've got more time, so now I can get back on the YouTube videos. So yeah, sleep schedule, you already know it's been a bit jarring. I mean, to be fair, it's actually it got better. So some of you who are tuned into here, you might know like my sleep was on like four 4 hours, 4.5 hours. Um, but actually the weekend, so it's currently Tuesday. The weekend on Friday night, you might see those big bars that are coming there in the middle. I got like 8.5 hours sleep on Friday night, and I got about 8 hours on Saturday night as well. And then on Sunday night, I went back to like 4 hours because I had stuff to do, right? But anyway, that's enough waffling about me. Let's just get into this video, okay? So, almost like this video, I wanted to do it sort of as almost like a devil's advocate to the sort of stuff I normally talk about. Should I make myself bigger? Hello, everybody. Almost a devil's advocate to the stuff I normally talk about. So, the stuff I normally talk about is like make sure you're prepared for your interviews. Okay, so make sure you're practicing your answers, make sure you're structuring them well, make sure you're saying the right things and all that sort of stuff. And that's good. That's great. Of course, I'm going to tell you to say that because that's what you need to do. That's what I was doing when I was going through my interviews. Was looking at those common questions, getting my answers ready to those common questions. And what I found was a lot of the time those common questions would come up, the ones that I'd found. In the past, I've compiled lists of common questions. Maybe I'll even link one below in the description to this video if I remember. Start spamming in the comments if you don't as well. It's good for the algorithm as well. So, you know what, everyone watching right now, go and write 3 separate comments saying how amazing my it is helpful for the algorithm, right? What am I even talking about? See, I'm like out of the flow of what making YouTube videos, and I don't even know what to talk about anymore. So yeah, normally I'm saying go and prepare your answers and really focus on having high quality answers where you can talk about your skills, you can talk about your experiences and that sort of thing. But also, like I kind of want to make this video to also say that like yes, your answers are important, but also is your character as well. Also is your personality. Because the thing is, you can have the most skills, the most experiences, almost the most knowledge, the most technical knowledge, right? But you go to a degree apprenticeship and they're just going to tell you to get lost, right? So I can think of certain personalities, certain types of people who, for example, they could go and get into Oxford. They could go and get into Cambridge. Like I know people who have gone to like Oxbridge and universities like that, massively intelligent, very very intelligent. Like I remember when I was never going to go to Oxford or Cambridge, right? But my friends were like applying, and they had like step questions, or I don't know what it's called, like the little test for Oxbridge and Cambridge, like Oxbridge and Cambridge for like the maths and physics tests, and they had like all these different equations. I used to go and try practice those and help my friends, and they were absolutely impossible. But people who are really intelligent going to Oxford and Cambridge, they probably wouldn't get into a degree apprenticeship. Why is that? It's not because of their intelligence or their skills really or anything like that. It's personality. Because in a degree apprenticeship, because it's a job, they're looking for a very specific thing. They're not necessarily looking for the most intelligent person in the whole world. They're not necessarily looking for the person who's done the most forage job simulations or the most spring pod work experiences. Really, at the core, they're looking for is someone who's going to fit into the team, someone who's going to fit into the office. So almost like, yeah, we've got to prepare your interview questions and know your answers. But above that is have the kind of personality that they're going to want as a team member, because that's what it is at the end of the day. You're going to be a team member. And I think this was one of the reasons alongside sort of I actually put a lot of effort into preparing my interview answers, memorizing them, and make sure I had good answers. But on top of that, it was also just I could connect well with the interviewers. I could sort of do well socially with them. I could sort of show off a personality that would sort of fit in with them. And it's something I've noticed when I do sort of mock interviews with people. Honestly, people take it too seriously. Like an interview, it's almost taking it too seriously. Tell me about a time when you had to come up with a creative solution. So, a time when I had to come up with a creative solution was when I was doing this, and I really thought this was the best idea. So, what I did was I did this, and I did this, and I said this, and that's the sort of tone people are doing. That's the sort of it's just okay. I've scripted this, and now I'm just going to say it, and it causes a number of problems. But the main one is like personality, because you're going to be working within a team. I think about it like this: if I'm hiring someone to join my team, I want the kind of person who I'm going to be able to have a laugh with. in the office because like you're gonna be with this person the whole day. Do you want someone who's like, do you know what I mean? Like, let's say I'm not, but let's say I was recruiting or hiring someone. I wouldn't want someone who's like on paper they're like really intelligent and got loads of experience, but they're kind of weird to be around and they just don't socially like fit in or anything, or you know what I mean? Or someone who's got a great personality and you'd be able to do a bit of chat. So it's like going into the interview, jumping into the interview call. Oh, hi, how are you? How's it going? Yeah, I'm doing very well, thank you. What about you? Is this your first interview of the day, or have you been doing these the whole afternoon? Oh, really? The whole afternoon? That must get tiring after a while, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely. And is this like your one day of the year where you get shoved into the interviews, or are you having to do this a bit more often on more of a regular thing? Oh, really? It is once a year. So you sort of had this day in the calendar for the last 300 days then, and now do you know what I mean? Like, I've just made that stuff up. Like, I don't know if that's the kind of real conversation people would have, right? But that's the kind of things I'd be saying, just random, like, small talky stuff that shows I've got a bit of personality. You can see me sort of smiling there, sort of laughing or whatever. I'll be honest. I'm sorry if that was cringe to watch. Me, like, having a conversation with myself and imagining the response, whatever. But I'm just trying to showcase the kind of energy I would go in. Okay, I'm not even going to say like this is the kind of energy you need to do to go and get an offer, because it's like I'm sure you can do it without, you can do it with, or whatever. I'm just going to tell you what worked for me. Okay, you can make your own judgments from that. But what worked for me was going into interviews with that sort of energy. Okay, smiling. Okay, because I was on a call with someone the other day and it was like, yeah, I really want to work for Airbus because I'm really excited by the sustainability missions you have at your company. I'm really excited by your interest to be sustainable by 2050. That's really interesting. And it's like, yeah, if we transcribe that and we look at it 2D on a Word document, then it's like, yeah, that's good. That shows you've done research of Airbus. That shows you match with their values, you match with sustainability. But it's like, no one believed you when you said that. Like, I can say those same things, but you want to be saying it with the right energy. And the right energy is... And another reason I want to work for Airbus is because of your sustainability mission. So when I was looking at your website, I found out that you want to be net zero by 2050. Now, this is something that really interests me. Myself, I'm really interested in working for a company that's responsible and it cares about its impacts. That's just another reason why I want to work for Airbus. I'm saying the same thing, but what I've said it there is with intonation, a bit of character, a bit of personality, a bit of I actually mean it. Like, I'm not saying I'm excited. I'm saying I'm really excited by this sort of thing that you offer, right? It's maybe it feels a bit more positive, a bit more energy, but it feels like a real person rather. Because like, okay, let's just go down to ground zero for a second. When they ask a question like, "Why do you want to work for this company?" Well, we have to exaggerate a bit here, right? Because it's like, "Why do you want to work for this company?" It's like, yeah, I kind of just want to work for Amazon, right? It's just Amazon, right? There's nothing really to say there. But you sort of have to say, oh, I want to work for Amazon because like you have this sustainability goal which so interests me, and you recently did this project and that Prime Video where you have to like say all this stuff. And this is what, well, I mean, this is what I tell people to say anyway, because this is what I said. Like, you have the good stuff to say, but it's like really, it's like you don't really care. So, but you have to say it like you care. You have to sound like you care, and you have to not take it so seriously, man. And I get it. It's like you've never done that many interviews before, and maybe you're a bit nervous, right? But just try and switch on that energy, because that energy, it is like a switch on energy. So I tried someone else who I was on some tutoring calls with the past 2 weeks or so, and he has like different modes of energy, like switch on, switch off. So like, let's say we're doing a mock interview and his energy's off. It's like, yeah, I want to work for Airbus because I want to do this. And I went, yeah. So I also found out about. Then it's just that. But then it's like, okay, switch on your energy. Yeah, so one of the reasons why I want to work for Airbus is because I recently found out about your latest product you're doing. So your Airbus A350, you've recently made it with sustainable materials. This kind of innovative solutions that I want to incorporate and come up with when I'm working at your company. And yeah, that's like sort of energy. You can just switch it on and switch it off. And that's almost what you need to do. It's like introverts, turn your energy on, man. I'm an introvert. Okay, I like spending time on my own. Right? But it's like when is necessary. So for social situations or YouTube videos, I just turn the energy on. Because no one will be watching my videos if I'm just being super quiet and just not ready to like, hey guys, so yeah, like no one's watching that. I mean, I don't know if people are watching this right now. I don't know how long this has been, like 10 minutes, I'm just waffling here, but do you know what I mean? Okay. Smile. Yeah, that's another one as well. Smile. Genuinely. Look enthusiastic. Look happy to be there. be real. You don't want to be AI. Okay, you want to be a real person. You want to be like the kind of person who that interviewer is going to be able to talk about football with in the office. Because again, if I was a recruiter right now, if I was hiring someone, would I rather hire someone who's like 10% better in terms of their like, oh, this person has like 10% better experience because this person did like this and this person, whatever, right? This person has 10% better star questions, right? Or, okay, this person is literally doesn't have social skills and I'm not going to be able to talk to them and I don't really know what to do when I'm around them. Or, oh, me and this guy connect really well. Like, we literally started talking about like football in our interview. I'm going to go the one who I connect with really well because I'm going to bring him to the team and he's going to be a great addition to the team. And it means when I'm in the office, I've got no one to talk to. He's there. Like, that's the kind of mindset I imagine interviewers have. And it worked for me. So that's what I'm saying. Do what you want, but it worked for me. One more thing I want to say on the other side of this is the risk of over-preparing. Because you can get to a point where maybe you've scripted your answers or memorized your answers that you just end up following what's been scripted and it sounds robotic. So this was someone 2 days ago preparing them for their Amazon presentation. The presentation itself, it just felt very robotic going through the script because they'd learnt it, they'd memorized in their head. But in their head, they were just following the script left to right. Like in the sort of their mind's eye, they were just following the script. And it sounded very, like, I just literally asked him, you scripted that right? And you were just reading off it. And no, I asked him, you had scripted that? And he was like, yeah, I'd scripted it. And like, I knew he'd scripted it. I knew it hadn't been like, oh, I made some bullet points and I'm talking off it. I knew he'd just been thinking of it from like a script perspective. So there's an issue there of like over preparing. If you memorize these answers, script them too much, it sounds really, one, robotic and not engaging. But also, two, as a side note, it does risk like them thinking you're reading off a script or like cheating or something. Like genuinely, that's a legit thing. The problem is, if your answers are so good, sometimes they won't believe you because they're like, how can this guy's answers be so good and so prepared? He must have read this off a script, or he must have had something here, or he must have known the questions in advance. Okay, so that's like the risk there. Okay, that's the risk of over preparing in terms of having you've scripted it, you know exactly your stuff. I'm gonna say this, and this. You got it word for word. It's gonna come across as robotic, which is gonna be less engaging, and also it can risk them thinking you've like cheated or prepared in advance or something weird like that, right? So how do you get around that? Number one, make sure you're looking at the camera. So I say look at the camera because it means you can connect with your recruiter better, and they're just going to psychologically just connect with you better, and they're literally just going to think of you as a better interviewer and a better candidate just because you were making eye contact. Okay, that's why I try and look at the camera, because I want to get likes, not dislikes. Feel free to dislike the video if you're not enjoying the video, and like it if you are. I've got to stop like interjecting this stuff because I say random stuff like that and then I just forget what I was talking about. Yeah, so what can you do if you don't want to like sound scripted or even sound like you're cheating? Look at the camera. So I tell people to look at the camera because it connects them with the recruiter, but even more is this, and like the people who are watching this far into the video, because I'll be honest, this is probably the wackiest video I've done. I'm just waffling. I'm not waffling, because I'm actually saying stuff, but we're getting there the long way around, right? You guys who are still watching this video, I'm guessing are quite high performing and ambitious, and you guys put a lot of work in and you're quite dedicated. So I'm guessing you've prepared your answers, and a lot of the key questions, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Tell me about how many works a team. Why do you want to work for this company? Tell me about yourself. I'm guessing these questions you've all prepared and you know what you're going to say. Especially for you guys need to look in the camera, because the problem is you know your answers so well that if you end up looking down here at the screen, they are almost going to think you are just reading off a script. You're reading off ChatGPT. It's a thing I thought about like a week ago, which is if you know your answer well and you look at the screen, they can connect the dots and they'll think you're using a script or using ChatGPT or something. And I've heard of people being like disqualified for using it because they thought they were using ChatGPT or something. Like, I'm not trying to like scare anyone here or anything. Like, this isn't that deep, right? Honestly, it's not that deep because you do these two things and you're sorted. But it's like, number one, look at the camera. Even more important, because when you're looking at the script, it looks jarring. When you're looking at the camera, you can't really be looking at a script, right? Or ChatGPT or whatever, right? Number two is just actually deliver it with energy, actually deliver it with passion. Because another telltale sign of using script or reading something off is like there's no energy, you don't really understand the words. Like, you know when like in English the teacher would ask someone to like read a passage and then they'd be stumbling over words, they'd mess things up. That's what it sounds like when someone is reading something off. So it's like as long as you know your answers well and you're delivering them with passion, delivering them with energy, you're going to be like you guys know for a fact I haven't ChatGPT'd this, right? You know for a fact I haven't like scripted this video. I'm like just talking right now. Just because of how I'm talking, it's not even necessarily anything I'm saying. Like my manner, like the fact that this is all over the place, this video, my mannerism stuff, that makes it a bit more obvious. But it's the mannerisms I'm using and the energy that I'm talking about. You can't really use that energy as well when you're looking at a script. Yeah, I've got to quit YouTube, bro. I don't even know how to film YouTube videos. Okay, so let's conclude it there for that video, for this video. Two main things, okay? Number one, for everyone, be a human being. Have a personality, have some character, try and connect with the interviewer, have some real passion, smile. Try and be someone they'd want to be around. Don't think of it as like, don't think of them as a superior. Okay, so you're going into an interview and oh, they're this big scary like boss. I was gonna say boss man, but that doesn't really fit the context. But they're like, oh, there's this big scary person who's going to decide whether I get the job or not. Try and think of them as a colleague instead. Like, they probably will be your boss or line manager or something like that, or they're just a random person, right? But try and think about them as just a colleague. They're on the same level as you. There's nothing to be scared of. I have like a post-it note like up there, which says like, no one is better than you. No one is better than you. Right? So going with that attitude, they're not better than you. They're equal. They're the same. And then just when you remove that sort of superiority, inferiority thing, you start being less scared of them. And when you're less scared of them, you can start approaching them, not from like a atmosphere of nervousness and fear, which is I'm kind of scared about this. My answers are going to be all sort of jarring and like low energy and sort of I'm going to speak like this and I'm nervous and I'm going to talk quickly and stuff. It's like, hey, you're my friend. Like, again, but it's like you're not just going to start calling them buddy or bro or anything. Like, you're not going to do that. But it's almost like just from an energy perspective, not really from a vocabulary perspective. Okay, you're not going to start using slang with them, but it's from like an energy. It's that sort of confidence and comfortability. That's not a word that you'd have with someone you're more friendly with, because you're going to be a colleague to this person as well. And I think it's something to remember. Okay, because something like a university interview, not really the same. Right, because a university interview, like I said, you can be super intellectual, no social skills, but they'll bang you in the university because they know you're going to get like a first degree or something, right? And also, the university lecturer is not trying to be your friend or anything. Like, they don't really want to talk to you, so they couldn't care less about your social skills. They just want someone who's going to sit in the back of a lecture. They're going to turn up. They're going to get good grades. Oh, your class recently increased their average. Congratulations, you got a pay rise, buddy. That's what the lecturer is looking for. They want to be your colleague. When you go into a degree apprenticeship, you can be working within a team. So you want those social skills. I hope that helps. I'll be doing more videos in the future. Obviously, why did I say that? If you want to join my free community, it's where you can ask any questions. And also, I'm going to be doing things like mock group exercises. I'm going to be taking some people from there, just random people, to do free mock interviews. And also, if you want me to review any of your video interviews, you can go inside the free community and make a post. It'll be the link in the description. We've just had someone from the free community get an Amazon offer already. That's great to see. So if you are interested, it'll be the link in the description down there. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in a bit. Take care.